talk about today is Kohlberg and the levels of moral development. So who is Kohlberg and why do we really care about him with ethics?
Yeah, well, Lawrence Kohlberg was a child psychologist, and he had this unique thought that ethics was something, and moral thinking was something that developed as you grew along with your other cognitive abilities. And so he set out to test this by studying a cohort of young boys, and then he followed them as they grew, posing ethical questions to them. And he noticed that as they went through different shifts in their psychological development, they would also reflect different moral development. In other words, they would respond to problems with different kinds of thinking. And he broadly identified three levels of thinking, typically called the pre-conventional and conventional, sort of like what society says, and then a post-conventional higher order. There's a lot more intricacy to it, but those are the basic ideas of how we kind of react to moral dilemmas we face.
Level 1 in particular, which I think is maybe the easiest for everybody to understand, and you had explained it in terms of a diet or a donut, and I thought that was a great example.
Right, yeah, because we've all been there. Yeah, level 1, this pre-conventional, is sometimes called egoism, or the level of self-interest. And it's sort of like when we first are growing and thinking about things, we're very myopic and focused on ourselves. You know, psychologists even wonder if kids realize there are other beings in the world besides themselves. At first it's just me, literally. And so when it comes to morals, everything is about either getting something for myself, kind of a reward or benefit, the donut, or avoiding punishment or bad things. Like when I'm dieting, I don't want to eat the donut because I'm trying to lose weight. The problem is that our interests are often incompatible because the dieter wants that donut, right? You know, because when the donut's there, the donut's good.
I want the donut.
You want it. And here's the problem: if you are strong and you resist, well, a lot of egoists or self-interested people that are miserable because, like, I can't have a donut. I'm too fat to have a donut. But when you eat the donut, you decide I deserve it or I can have it. Almost as soon as that last bite's in, we're all saying, "Why did I eat the donut? Now I got to go run 5 miles." And that's problem level 1. We're never satisfied. So Kohlberg pointed out it's kind of a naive level, in that I want this, but even when I get it, I'm not happy. And then, of course, when I don't get it, I'm not happy. And so people just, if you stay at level 1, you're never satisfied. The other problem, of course, is when it comes to things like nursing. If you walk into the hospital room and you're only focusing on yourself, you're not really there for that patient. You're not going to fulfill your role, even though you might do the job okay. And so we don't want people to act at level 1. We need to think at a higher level.
The next level is level 2,
Right.
and that is, from what I understand or remember, a level of social behaviors and social groups. You want your group to accept you,
Right.
and you want them to like you.
Yeah, that's it exactly. And so, you know, you just think about all the social roles you have. You know, all of you, you're students. You're working into this professional role that has expectations. You've got families. Some of you are probably married, children. You start adding it up. It's lots of roles. You know, we talk about the hats we wear. We wear lots of hats. How do you satisfy all of them? Because you just said the key here is I want my group to accept me. But sometimes being accepted by one group doing what my family wants is going to clash with what I have to do at work. You know, it's Grandma's 80th birthday, but I got to work tonight. You know, what do I do? And there are all kinds of pressures that pull at us. And so again, we try to solve things by going from one role to the next, but you're never going to be satisfied because you know how it is. You can't please everybody.
And then that leads you then to the third level, which did you say before that some people don't ever get to the third level?
Right. Well, the third level is a hard one to get to because the thing to remember about level 2, those conventional roles, is roles are very comfortable for us because they tell me what to do. I don't have to think a lot for myself. I know what's expected. You know, it's your basic peer pressure. You know, we've all probably learned by this point in life, peer pressure doesn't stop in high school. You know, it continues on. And, you know, when you... I don't know what's coming.
That's okay.
So the peer pressure continues on, you know, throughout life. And again, nobody wants to get in trouble with people. Everyone wants to, you know, keep the boat even keel, don't rock the boat, as we say. But you begin to realize that there are some people who aren't restricted by those social roles, who realize sometimes doing the right thing means going against one of these roles. And those are people we might think of like, you know, Mother Teresa or Martin Luther King Jr. And, you know, when I use those names, some people are like, oh, great, he's talking about saints or heroes. You know, none of us are like that, and I don't claim to be that perfect. That's why it's hard to achieve. But you begin to realize that sometimes, again, what I have to do is what's right, not just what's in my job description. That I need to help out this patient, even though it might mean I have to stay extra when I personally would like to get home. Level 1 might be saying it's time to get in the car and go, but I realize, I've got an obligation here. And level 2 helps. Level 2 gets us really far in life, but there are always those things where we have to go beyond that, and that's with this level 3. Level 3 is a level where I start thinking about universal moral principles. It's not about my social role, my gender, my race. It's about working with fellow human beings, trying to do the best we can. For example, in healthcare, help people get to health. And that helps me when I walk in a hospital room not get stuck on just myself, but really think about what's best for that patient.
Trisha and I were driving here, and there was a situation in front of us at an intersection. There was a car accident. We witnessed a car accident. Nobody was injured, no big problems. But I said, "Oh my gosh, do you think we should stop?" And Trisha said, "No, keep going." So if this isn't ethical, it's all her fault, by the way. But I'm thinking this I could break down into the levels as to why to stop or why not to stop for this accident.
Are you feeling like you need to drive back?
Well, now I'm wondering. I mean, now you've got me thinking.
Well, you were worried because the police car came from behind.
I thought I was being pulled over on the way for not stopping because a cop came up right behind us with his lights on. It's all Trisha's fault because
Right.
she told me not to stop. I was driving, but she told me not to.
But you see, that's a perfect way to show how kind of level 1 will push you in a right direction, but you're not satisfied when you think about it.
No, I'm really not happy with this outcome, actually, Trisha. So then if I'm in level 2, maybe I didn't stop because Trisha, who's my peer and I want her to accept me, was in the car with me, said, "No, you don't have to stop." So clearly she thinks stopping at accidents is not cool, so I want to be
It
liked.
could be. And you might have felt, did you know this person? Did you have any obligation to them? Which would have pulled at you. And so, yeah, it's easy to see this person's not part of my social circle or responsibility of mine right now. I don't have to help. But, of course, then you think about it as a citizen, as a good citizen, what should you have done?
Should have stopped, Trisha.
We didn't see it though. We just heard it.
Okay, we heard it and we saw the car spin through the intersection.
Right.
Nobody looked injured. I don't know, I guess I didn't see much, but
Yeah, see, the thing I would add is that you've got some medical training because you're...
clearly we should have stopped.
So when you look at it level 3, what do you think?
From level 3, I don't know if I ever got to level 3 on this one. I might have stopped at level 2. I might not be a post-conventional thinker myself yet. I'm working
Well,
on that.
and the thing is, I bet you are, but it's hard to be there consistent. And I certainly am not the poster child for this either. I work at it, every day. It's something you have to think about. One of the hard things about ethics to keep in mind is sometimes even failing or not always doing the best is helpful when you think about it because you grow from it. Without conflict, there's no growth. So, sounds like you learned.
I'm going to consider it maybe a failure, but I'm blaming it on Trisha since it's definitely her call.